Hi, welcome back to Dress Up Disasters. I'm Alycas Cosplay, and I'm here with
Circuit.
And today we have a guest, our first guest, Cole's Cosplay. And today we're going to be talking about cosplay and gender. And Cole, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me on your guys' podcast. This is so exciting.
Of course.
I have been cosplaying, I think, for around 4 years. I like to say I'm a COVID cosplayer because this is when I started.
A little COVID baby.
I'm a COVID cosplayer compared to these two.
Hey, 4 years of cosplay. You're not a baby cosplayer anymore.
Compared to you guys who have like 10 plus years.
You're like a teen.
Oh my god, like teens.
You're an angsty teenager now.
Yeah, you're an angsty teenage cosplayer.
Never like my angsty teen years, okay?
That's so fair.
Yeah.
I saw you at that Avril Lavigne concert a few months back, I know.
I wish I was there. I'm not gonna get into that, but
Anyway, so
What kind of things have you been working on lately?
because like my
Or planning
con
to, or
season
what have
has
you?
ended, but yes, also slightly going to start again soon, and so it's been like a lot of figuring out what I'm doing for other conventions and stuff. Right now, one of my big things I'm working on is I'm doing a tech wear Sakura from Naruto for Katsu for like an evening look.
it's gonna be so
I'm
fun.
really excited about that, and I have
love this
I got like
evening
glow in the dark pins that I got at like AR, and they're so cool, and I'm so excited for them.
That's gonna be so neat.
I'm
I'm excited to see that. What conventions do you have coming
I'm
up?
doing Katsu.
Where can people find you?
You'll see me at KatsuCon if you're there. And then
Very
I'm going
nice.
to be at Vancouver Fan Expo for 1 or 2 days. And then SakuraCon for like
Nice.
1 day probably. And then like just a bunch of like 1-day cons in like Vancouver area. I don't have a very like large con list
Very
right
nice.
now because I'm trying to save money.
That's so valid.
That's so weird.
Yeah, if it's not local, I'm kind of like, I don't have the time for this right now. Where can people find you online?
On TikTok and Instagram under Coles underscore cosplay.
Very nice. All right, so with that, we can get into the meat and the bones of this podcast.
The hearty
episode.
meal.
The hearty meal.
Cooking stew.
Yeah. Gender and cosplay, because those kind of end up
hand in hand.
They end up going hand in hand. Yeah, a
A
lot.
lot more than people think.
Yeah. So I have a couple topical discussions. And one that's kind of near and dear to my heart would be gender dysphoria.
We love it.
Yay! Or, like, I suppose maybe, like, gender expression in cosplay and how it's a safe way to kind of, like, discover things about yourself.
Very much so, yeah.
Because definitely, definitely before cosplay, I was a hardcore she, her girly, and I have since completely dropped the she and the her.
Yeah, I went from she, her, to she, they, to I don't frickin' know.
That's so valid. Yeah, I had...
pipeline.
It is, because that's kind of how it went for me. I had she, her, and then I was like, ooh, maybe she, they, and then I was like, she, he, they, and then I switched she to the end, and it was like they, he, she, and then it was they, he, and now it's he, they.
All of them.
I said here with she, her in the bio.
Did you have she, they in your bio?
She, they in the bio.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
I make sure people's pronouns in their bios because I'm always putting that in my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I have to make sure.
You get my pronouns right, but not my username.
I'm so sorry every single time. What would you rather? Your pronouns wrong or your tag or your handle wrong?
Hey, people wouldn't look up my pronouns to find me.
Why do you have to complicate it?
Well, I also put a link to your account.
It's not complicated.
I'm just stupid.
Although the amount of people who call me Cricket,
Cricket?
I get called Cricket a lot.
That kind of makes sense. As a dyslexic, I can tell you at least once I've looked at it and gone, Cricket Circuit.
I still find it hilarious that I misspelt my cosplay handle on my business cards. Yeah,
That's fair.
Jules Cosplay. Because I forgot the B in cosplay.
Honestly, just
I
change your
would
user to that.
if I could
Yeah.
capitalize the S. But you can't on your handles,
Yeah.
which is stupid. But I
That's
feel
so
like mine's
sad.
an easy enough handle.
Yeah, because if I could capitalize mine, I'd
Yeah.
capitalize the C and the A in
Luckily,
Alycas.
mine's like close enough that if you just type in like the first half, my name usually pops up. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
Close enough. But I think with like gender expression cosplay, the fun thing about it is it's like a safe way to kind of explore
Yeah.
gender and things like that. Because it was definitely the safest way for me because I grew up like, heavily Christian and stuff like that. So there was no way I could just show up dressed as a boy. My parents would be like, hey, what's this? But if I was dressed as Castiel with a really bad fake beard, then like, my parents would be like, that's a choice.
canon event.
Go off, bestie. It's truly
Canon event.
cosplaying Castiel is a canon event.
But no, like I definitely agree with that.
Dude, I wore that shit to my middle school.
Oh, I wore that shit to the Walmart in which I worked in the McDonald's
Look,
of.
Walmart trips in any cosplay is an experience.
It's a canon event. Oh, truly.
That's on the way to AR.
I ran into the lady who owns the fabric store I always go to. That was great. But then I was able to be like, hey, look at all these fabrics that I bought at your store that's like now these costumes.
What's up with you?
And I'm there like, not now, we're in a crisis. Oh, what a stressful morning that was.
That was such a stressful morning, and I try not to think about it too often.
The twins better appreciate what I do for them.
I'm sure they do.
I say that with all the love of my heart. Anyway, playing with gender in costume.
The amount of rabbit trails we've taken.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
There's
Taylor.
gonna be
Yeah.
so many in this episode.
Yeah.
I just know it.
It gets multiplied with each new member that gets added into the podcast because we already have enough problems with each other. And we add another person. There's 3 different rabbit trails we can take at any one point in time.
We're not gonna have trouble hitting time today.
Oh yeah. Anyways, getting
Back on the topic.
back on a topic. I'm gonna beat.
I'm just here to keep people on topic.
That's fair. Yeah, it was like, because I started out with like expressing gender in cosplay, I would like gender bend all of the male characters I cosplayed, and then I did that for the first like year and a half, and then Castiel came along, and I was like, well, I want to try doing a fake beard, and if people really want to find it, it's like at the very bottom of my Instagram, and if you scroll that far, you deserve to see it at this
The
point.
real question is, when you did your first fake beard, did you go with the black eyeshadow or did you go with the brow pencil?
I went with, because I had seen a tutorial for this on like Pinterest or something, I went with gray eyeshadow as a shadow. And then I took a little bit of hairspray to coat the like fine baby hairs on my face, and then I took mascara to cover the baby hairs on my face. It looked bad. It looked real
I
bad.
remember being a child looking at cosplay tutorials when I first got started, and I was like, I want to try that. That looks good.
The amount of trials I've tried.
I would love to tell you that I was a child, but I was a full-blown tax-paying adult when I did that.
I was 14.
I was like 20, 19, 20. That's what happens when you don't start cosplaying until you're like 19 because your parents said, no, that's weird cake shit. And I was like, no, people take their kids to these events. And my dad, whose only con experience had been a Star Trek convention in the 1980s, was like, no, it's weird and it's kinky. And I was like, no, it's fine. So I had to wait till I had adult money.
Yeah. Anyways, again, gender and cosplay.
Gender and cosplay!
My first big gender moment in cosplay was actually when I got my first binder.
That was a huge
binder
moment
on and just suddenly not having boobs. Like, no tits. There's nothing there. I mean, I don't have a lot there anyway, but...
Yeah.
Extra nothing with the binder.
I feel that.
And then there's a moment I was just like, well, I kind of like how this looks. Like you wear it with a certain shirt or something. I'm like, why does this look better without boobs?
Yep.
That was.
Yep. I had that experience with my Edward Elric cosplay in 2019. First time I bought a binder. Put that on and was like, oh no, I'm not thinking about this for a couple years.
Is when I started getting into cosplaying Todoroki for my hero, and I was just like, I was wearing a sports bra to try and make them not as showing, and it just wasn't working, and I didn't like how I looked, and then I got a binder because I found out what a binder was because I didn't know. And then same thing. I was like, I put it on and I was like, oh, this is new.
Yep. It's that. It's that weird moment where you look in the mirror and you stand sideways and you're like, oh, I like this, and you know it's all over when for the first you go outside in public, not in cosplay, wearing the binder, and you know that it's the end. That was an experience.
And then there's me who's never owned a binder in their life because they haven't needed one.
I have too much to adequately tape bind down.
I also
so I always have to have a binder.
I've tried it. I've tried open binding before. And I don't like it. It feels weird and I feel more constricted than I do if I'm just wearing a binder. For myself personally, at least.
Yeah.
That's why if you're gonna bind, look into the different ways on how to do it and do it safely.
Oh, yes.
If I see anyone try and bind with fucking ace bandages and duct tape,
since we're talking about we'll have a little detour into safe binding, okay? You need to look up reputable brands. You need to not wear the binder for more than 8 hours. Binders that have, it's if your chest starts hurting, if your rib cage starts hurting, take that shit off. Please, 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 I'm begging you.
Oh, don't sleep in it either.
Oh my god, do not sleep in your binder. Oh yeah, try not to wear it for more than 8 hours. That's the max you should be doing. Don't do any strenuous exercise while in your binder. It's one thing if you're running across the con floor or doing a photo shoot and you happen to climb a tree or something in a binder, that's one thing, but don't do a heavy exercise. Don't go to work.
Don't go to the gym.
Don't go to the gym, in your binder. Look up, get a binder that's sized correctly to you. You might want to go for that smaller, tighter binder so that way you get a flatter look if you have a bit more going on in your chest region. But don't do that because it will actually cut off your breathing. There have been people who bruised their lungs. And it can cause you to if you're breathing more often, your heartbeat is going to start having to work overtime. You can severely injure yourself. Please be safe.
Yeah,
wearing
I've heard
binders.
of people
Yeah.
injuring their ribs.
Yeah, I've heard of. I think there was one time I think I heard somebody cracked a rib because their binder
and,
was
like,
too tight.
I know, like, at cons,
Yeah.
like, you're usually in your cosplay for more than 8 hours. But, like, if you hit that 8-hour mark and you still want to be in cosplay, just, like, take it off when you go get, like, dinner or something. Like, even if you just take, like, an hour break of not wearing it, that's fine. That's good.
Exactly,
Then, like, you can put it back on afterwards and then continue on with your evening. But, like, give yourself, give
your
them
lungs
a break.
Yeah. That's
And when you put your binder on, your nips should not be facing the floor.
No, you need to reach in, pick up your boobs, and make sure your nips are facing outwards. Because if they're facing down, you can injure and tear the breast tissue.
And it also looks more like pecs that way.
Yes, it does. It does. It shapes better. I like to pick upwards and towards my armpit. It'll give you the most pec-looking chest. Although, by the end of the day, they've migrated into a uniboob in the center anyways, but, you know, you can try to negate that with the occasional
Leakage
hoist.
sweat you guys will get in your binders.
Oh, wearing a binder in the summer is an experience. Because you just constantly feel this little river between your chest.
Female characters for AR.
And I did all men.
I was like, I don't want to put more extra clothes on that I already have to.
And
Yeah.
if you are taping your titties, like doing open chest binding, or maybe you just prefer taping down,
Cover your nipples.
cover your nips, and also take it slow. I like to take my tape off in the shower because a lot of tapes, a lot of like kin tapes that you use, the adhesive gets stronger the warmer it gets. So the tape towards your armpit area is going to be very secure, and I have ripped off layers of skin.
You can also, with removing the tape, you can pour like olive oil or vegetable oil because it'll disrupt the adhesion.
I like using super salt adhesive remover.
Yeah, honestly, though,
Yeah,
like, just,
that
like,
works
having a shower, the steam also really helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it opens up the skin to help release the glue. Don't just rip it off dry, please, please,
I have
please,
definitely done
please,
that before.
please, please.
Oh, I do it more than I probably should.
Yeah.
But I've also been trained in how to remove things that stick to your skin.
I don't ever really use it that often because, like, I tend to just put the binder on instead myself. It's very rarely I will use, like, body tape, unless it's, like, to keep my knee-high socks up.
Yeah, I end up using it more to, like, keep knee-high socks up, or if I'm wearing something that has a bit of a plunging neckline and I want the yitties for
well, a
most
lot
of the
of
present.
adhesives like that also contain latex too, so if you have latex allergy, that's something to consider.
I have found ones that are like more like the toupee tape. That I found a particular brand that didn't have latex in it, and that's because I am
the
allergic
amount
to
of
latex.
tape and pins are put in the costume for when I did one of the wives from Demon Slayer to, like, I essentially was sewn to a bra at one point, I swear, to keep everything in place.
Yeah. Well, it's like the last time I wore Levi Ackerman to a con. The ODM gear harness I had been sitting in storage for about 8 years, and was disintegrating as I was wearing it. So we went over to the booth that my dad was helping out at, and we stole a roll of their duct tape and taped me into it.
I mean, with all those buckles and belts those cosplay have, you're already kind of taped into it in a sense.
Oh, yeah, you're not getting into that.
Oh, yeah.
Bathroom breaks? We don't know
I
her.
don't know how Attack
Please
on
don't
Titan
actually go to the
cosplayers
bathroom,
do it.
dear
I
God.
do not know how you guys do it. I have never cosplayed from Attack on Titan.
I've seen a lot of people make their own ODM gear harnesses out of elastic, and they'll sew them directly to the pants. So it's just a top, like a vest thing that they pull off.
When I had my ODM gear, I made it to where I would just have to take off the jacket, and then it just slipped off of my all the top ODM gear held together, and I just slipped it off, and then I just took my pants off because it was attached all the way through the belt loops of my pants. so the pants stayed permanently attached to my ODM gear, and so I could actually pee, because that's a very important thing to me.
Yeah, 'cause my ODM gear harness, it was all connected to the belt. So as long as you didn't take the belt off your pants, you were fine.
What is your guys' most difficult cosplay to go to the washroom in? Nah.
A little bit Tartaglia, simply because the belt isn't attached to the pants, and because he's got the thigh garter, I have to like get half naked to get his is kind of difficult because it's just like all of his weird belt and thigh garter and things, and it's all connected, and so I'm like trying not to have it just drape all over the floor and get wet.
Yeah.
A lot of my like Heaven Officials or like the Demon Cultivator cosplays that I have, like my Danmei cosplays, just because there's so many layers.
Yeah, Electron's pretty difficult too.
Yeah, you're trying to like not get any of the long drapey sleeves, the long drapey robes.
All the fabric in those are very light, so it's also hard to tell if maybe a piece of fabric might have slipped into the toilet.
Yep.
That's
Chester. Chester, because I have a tail, I have 3 different skirts, I have long sleeves, I literally have to tie the sleeves around my throat or around my neck so I'm not dripping them into the toilet.
Yeah, same problems with Molly. I have to take the coat off and hand it to a friend.
Yep.
And then I have to worry about being able to pull the leather pants back up my sweaty ass legs. The arm socks.
Yeah.
And the tail. Which are sewn to the pants.
Yeah.
While also not hitting the horns on the bathroom stall.
Yeah, because with Jester, I've got the horns, I've got the tail, I've got like the gloves, I've got the 3 different skirts, and then there's tights underneath of all of that. Yeah. What about you? I love how this is completely derailed. It's fine.
I think mine is weirdly Azula from Avatar.
That makes
sense.
Sense.
I had like the shoulder pads that like knock into the stalls, and then like it's like the bottoms are separate, but then I have like the weird dress thing and the belts on top of it, so it's kind of like a maneuvering them all in my hands up here when I like plop down.
Yep. I don't really cosplay her anymore, but one of the most awkward and uncomfortable cosplays to use the bathroom in was Black Widow, because I had to get completely naked to be. It's a bodysuit with like a belt and gloves, so I'd have to take my gloves off, I'd have to take the belts off, and then I unzip the bodysuit, and the only thing that's going on under there when I'm going to the bathroom is just like my bra, and I'm sitting there like, if somebody opens this door, they ever see everything.
Gender.
So we've talked a bit about
Gender!
Gender dysphoria was mentioned a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
What would you guys describe that as, and what have been your biggest moments experiencing it?
So you go...
Because that's not really something that I deal with.
You were there when I experienced it for the first time.
Yeah.
Which was, we were at Kumo.
Yeah.
And I was cosplaying Jinx at the time from Arcane, and like Jinx was always a cosplay I was very, very comfortable in. I have no issues with it at all before, and then like there was something about the day, it was just like I felt so uncomfortable in everything, and I felt like everyone's eyes were on me in like a bad way. And, like, I felt very exposed, and I felt very uncomfortable, and I was like, I did not want to be in the body that I had. And we had to get to Alycas's, like, panel, because they were doing a panel, and, like, I was sitting there, and I was just like, I'm so uncomfortable right now. And, like, I think I broke down in, like, the hotel after that.
Yeah, because I went back with you because I was going to change or something. Or you were going to change, and I went back with you because I need to change my... Oh, I need to put stuff back from my panel.
The problem was, like, I only had one male cosplay at the time with me at that con, and I couldn't get change into that because you were borrowing my binder because you had forgotten yours.
Yeah, I forgot to find her.
And so, like, I only had female cosplays, and I didn't want to be a female, and it was a whole thing, so I ended up putting on, like, a comfort cosplay, which was Sakura, and I was, like, okay in it, but, like, I also was not 100% comfortable, and I have not been able to cosplay Jinx since then, and that's my first moment of being like,
yeah,
what are my pronouns? What do I want to go by? What is happening to me?
Yeah, I first started experiencing, like, gender dysphoria in about 2020, and I remember I remember getting dressed for a date. It wasn't even, like, for cosplay. I've been cosplaying a lot of guys at that point, and then the only time I was really existing was, like, I'd go to work, and then I'd come home, and then I'd get into cosplay, and I'd go live, or I'd make TikToks or whatever, because that was what we were doing during the pandemic. And so I was existing almost entirely as a guy. I was doing a lot of not Bungo Stray Dogs, I was doing a lot of BNHA. So it was a lot of Bakugo, and it was a lot of Todoroki, and it was a lot of Denki. So I got very used to only seeing myself as a guy. And so I was, like, getting ready. It had been, like, 3 or 4 months of me just almost exclusively cosplaying guys. I'd occasionally cosplay a girl here and there, but I really wasn't. And so I got ready for a date, and I was wearing a skirt and, like, this frilly little top. And I remember looking in the mirror, and I felt, like, disgusted. Like, I was looking, like, I wasn't looking at myself. Like, it felt so wrong in, like, this visceral way that I literally just started crying, and I had to, like, get out of that clothing as fast as possible, and I had to wear the most masculine outfit I could possibly put together, because I was like, if I have to look at myself any longer as a woman, I'm just gonna break down and be inconsolable. And it wasn't until a little while later, like, and then I realized I was, like, cosplaying guys, and I was just fine, and then there was a couple times where I cosplayed girls, and because I was doing Uraraka, and I remember going, I cannot cosplay, I cannot see myself cosplaying as girls, and so I went back to almost exclusively cosplaying guys for quite some time. I got into Bungo Stray Dogs, only cosplayed guys. I got into Haikyuu, only cosplayed guys. Like, for most of the rest of 2020 and almost all of 2021, I think I maybe cosplayed a girl, like, once or twice. Like, I just couldn't do it, and it actually took me a long time to get comfortable again cosplaying girls. Like, it took me like, years.
And then Genshin came out.
Yeah, Genshin kind of, like, fixed that real fast, because, like, the first Genshin cosplay I did was Ganyu, and she's wearing essentially a tiny little dress and just tights, and her whole back is out, and I was like, if I don't cosplay her, I'm going to die. And and then I saw Xiangling, and I was also like, she's so cute, if I don't cosplay her, I'm gonna die. And then I saw the Raiden Shogun, and I was like, I need to be her. And so that actually, like, helped a lot. And so now I cosplay, like, boys or girls, it's fine. But yeah, it was just this intense feeling of wrongness in my own body, and just, like, feeling so disgusted. Like, it was just this horrible feeling that I would not wish on anybody. And it was, like, it was so scary the first time it happened. I was like, what is going on?
Like, I was still freaking out after that con, too, because I was just like, what is this? Was this, like, a freak moment where I was just uncomfortable for whatever reason? Or, like, what? And then, like, I talked to a bunch of, like, friends and stuff that are like, I just think you, like, need to figure out your pronouns and, like, what you want to go by and, like, stuff. And I was just like,
Like, I didn't need a gender crisis.
Crisis at my age.
Yeah, because when I was, like, 24 when I had my gender crisis, and I was like, am I too old to be having a gender crisis right now?
Meanwhile,
and I was like, I can't exactly, like, change who I am at work. What is this? Yeah. my coworkers really noticed something was up when I started wearing almost exclusively pants to work, and I think there was a couple times I actually wore my binder to work. And some of my coworkers were like, "That's an interesting look," and I'm like, "Don't ask questions."
Yeah, I dress very mask for my work too. Actually, like I wear like baggy pants and like sweatshirts and shit, and my work don't question it because I kind of always go to work like that. But in my mind, I'm just like, this is comfortable. Yeah. That's why I'm doing this.
I look as shapeless as possible. Perfect.
Yeah. I also dress very masculine at work, but they don't really make feminine high-vis.
Yeah. There's no way to make high-vis cute.
I mean, I'm sure people can find it. It's just...
I'm sure there's a TikTok for that.
In accordance with WorkSafe.
Yeah, WorkSafe will come on and be like, no, you cannot wear assless high-vis chaps.
They would have something to say.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, with the hole in my work pants, they as well be assless. I do wear regular pants under my high-vis. They're just there for the high-vis.
They're not there for actual coverage of your most sensitive parts.
No. So could you imagine?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about gender dysphoria.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that's like the opposite of that? Like something that makes you
gender euphoria?
Yeah, something that feels you cemented in your identity?
Like some of the cosplays that I wear where I'm like, oh yes, this is peak gender. I am actually the hottest man ever, is when I cosplay Link. I can literally never have a bad day when I'm cosplaying Link. Child is another one of those cosplays where I put that cosplay on and I'm like, I am actually the hottest I've ever been. Thank you, everyone. You need to look because ain't no way this would be like. And Albedo is another one where I'm like, yes, I'm very handsome today.
For me, it's similar. It's like certain male cosplays that I have where I'm just like, I am a god.
Yeah, it's like, it's me, I'm the man, I'm the boy!
Is Joker from Persona. Whenever I have Joker on, I'm just like, am I a fuckboy? Maybe.
Yes. That's me as a child, honestly, as Tartaglia. I'm like, I am the fuckboy. I will steal your girlfriend and your boyfriend.
Also, Baji from Tokyo Revengers. I haven't cosplayed him in like a hot minute, but like when I do cosplay him, I'm just like, I am the prettiest boy in existence, and no one could tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I cosplay a lot of the pretty boys. I find when it's the very high masculine looking men, I realize that my face doesn't match that, and so I end up not liking it. But like the pretty boys, I'm like, oh yes, I can do this.
You're coming on with me.
I also have that same thing with certain female cosplays that I do, like Tamari.
Oh yes, definitely.
From Naruto. Whenever I'm in Tamari, I'm just like, I'm so pretty.
Yes. I get that way when I cosplay, oh my gosh, what's her name? From, Chainsaw Man.
Makima.
Pink hair.
Makima?
Oh yes, I cosplay Makima, and I'm like, oh yes. And,
something about a woman that could kill me.
Exactly. When I'm cosplaying a woman that could kill me,
and would
gladly, easily, I'm like, yes, this is wonderful. Like, the Raiden Shogun, she's another one where I'm like, oh. And then, Jester. She's just so cute, and I feel endlessly cute. I felt so freaking cute, dude. I was like, no one can tell me anything. I'm the cutest.
I also weirdly like it when I'm doing female characters, but when I am like covered in fake blood. I don't know what it is with
That's
the
so
presence
fair.
of fake blood, but it makes it like so much hotter. Like I did Power and I covered myself in fake blood, and I was just like, I have never been sexier in my life. I look like I just murdered somebody, but I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
there's just something about cosplaying like a murderous person. About you, what are some cosplays that give you like this is it? I have never been like what gives you that like euphoria moment?
Zelda.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Anyone who knows me knows it's Zelda.
Yep.
Mollywalk on a good day.
Yeah.
Just because it's such a labor-intensive costume to wear, by the time you're done putting it on, you're like, I'm tired of being in this. But like on a day where like the body paint is sitting nicely and stuff, I'm like, this. I could wear this all day.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I have like a handler to help me, because that is not a costume I can move very easily in.
No.
Because I have no peripheral vision in that costume at all.
Yes.
At all.
Yeah. That's how I felt in Jester. Like, I have to turn all the way around to see something because I got horns and I got the wig and everything, so it's like, I'm turning all the way around.
That scene in Avengers where Tony is Edward McFury's computer and stuff are. He's like, how does he see all these? And he's like, he turns around.
just like a shout out to all the like friends to cosplayers who become our handlers when we have these difficult cosplays on. You are freaking godsends and we love you.
You're the real MVPs out there. The cosplay handlers, you are the gods amongst men.
Yeah.
Like,
that's going to be Rem and Entropy at soccer camp for us.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be...
I'm buying them dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be a chore.
Accidentally became my handler a little bit at AR when I was Tamari. Because,
that's so fair.
I have the giant fan, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like... I accidentally hit so many people with this fan on accident. It's so long. This fan is like the size of me. It's
huge. I love it. Guys, listeners, you need to go and see their Instagram because that fan is so cool. The costume is also very cool, but like it's very epic.
It like draws.
Well, it's like you'll be standing there and then nobody will be really interested. You open that fan and 17 people have their phones out.
I ran into like some of my non-cosplayer friends who knew about this fan and they're like, oh, like I want to see it. I'm like, yeah, for sure. So I open it and it makes that glorious sound, and then suddenly it's warm and I'm just like, ah! It's like I love it, but I think it's very overwhelming.
Yeah,
it can be.
I find
but it's also like very nice stroke of the ego.
Oh yes,
back there as well.
But when it's constant, I'm just like, okay, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You handlers for it.
Yeah. No, I've definitely had a couple of cosplays. Yeah, where I got stopped so often that it got to a point where I was like, I'm going to tell you no because I need a second. Like, I cannot function like this.
Yeah, well, that was like with the Mario bunnies.
We got stopped a lot with them.
We were real popular. Yes. Yeah, so we're trying to go anywhere and half the group is getting stopped for photos. You're like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do another group like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely bringing a bunny super sock, but like it's Easter weekend,
I need
so
to get a new bunny suit because like my zipper was totally like messed up on mine because like I tried wearing it at Katsu last year. Remember you were trying to help me pull it up, and then it was just like the zipper is just destroyed on it, and like I need to get a new one.
Yeah, I'd zip it up and then it's opening up the back, and I was like,
not a way to just replace the zipper on it.
Like.
The suit itself wasn't also very stretchy. It was
I bought it very quickly because I was in that Mario group that you set up. And like I just needed a white one. I needed a cheap one. And like it didn't fit me. Like it fit me fine, but like I wished it was like a little bigger on me, I think. And like it wasn't quite the right orange I wanted because I was Daisy. So like I want to just get like a new one. Just like wear it for like any costume.
Yeah. I need to get a new one because I bought a really small one years ago when I was just came out of COVID lockdown depression skinny, and I am not that thin anymore, and it was already small on me when I first bought it, so I can like zip it up and I can wear it if I'm like sucked in all the way. But it's the type of bunny suit that has zero ass coverage, and it is just my entire ass out. And I'm like, all right, because I have the pink one, which does cover like most of my ass, but the black one, it's your entire ass out. And I'm like, I cannot, I in fact cannot do this. I need some ass coverage.
Yeah, because I think the plan is Muppet Show this year.
That'll be glorious. Like I said, I'm probably going to come down for the Saturday, because you guys are doing the comp, right? Or trying to? And that's Saturday, right?
Hope.
Yeah.
Whether or not I'll be able to afford all the rhinestones before soccer
and
comes,
it's
we'll
on the
see.
Saturdays their competition, right? Yeah, so I'll probably come down Saturday because, like, I want to come see you guys, your comp and stuff. So I'll come down for Saturday and I'll be like, hey guys.
Yay! I get to see our awesome, super expensive, fancy costumes that I'm gonna cry over when it's done.
But I will be there probably Saturday. We'll see. I might end up coming for the weekend. If I drop down to only doing one day at Fan Expo, I could probably pull off doing Sakura.
Honestly, Fan Expo's only worth it one day.
It was more because I was in groups.
You're there.
One of the groups we want to do is like, it's a really expensive cosplay, and like I kind of don't want to bother, so I probably will drop it and I just do the one day, which like is Friday, which is annoying because then I have to take a day off work.
Yeah, because it's not on the holiday anymore.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'll take a long weekend. It's fine.
Yeah,
So maybe I'll come up for Sock, but Sock's really expensive. Like, the tickets are so expensive.
I was talking to somebody, and last year they did just a regular panel, and they got panelist badges.
Who was that?
That was Crimson Corgi, and
What's something to look into?
yeah. So if we do panels, I think we may be able to get panelist badges, and that would make the con a lot cheaper.
I really need to start doing panels.
Look at that.
Right? Like, it makes the con so much worth it.
They
really fun to do.
but, like,
They are.
I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't know what I would do, because, like, you guys have, like, the sewing ones you can do, because, like, I'm not a sewer. Like, I'm slowly learning, obviously, but, like, I'm not anywhere skilled enough that I can, like, do a panel on it. So, like...
Well, you could always, like, join in on a panel that I'm doing or something. Because I do, like, my patterning panel sometimes. I do, like, sewing panels, and, like...
We could bring on another person for Cosplay First, right?
Oh my god, I would love that.
And we could do, like, a live episode with you.
Oh my god, that's popular
We could be back.
We could pick up a podcast.
Yeah, brought back the popular demand.
I mean, we're going to run the stories eventually, so...
Yeah.
And you could also, like,
That's
run
true.
a game,
I thought about doing, like, if I did an informational one, I thought about doing, like, cosplay for beginners. Like, things like I wish I knew when I first started.
Yeah.
You could also do one on cosplay and gender.
Yeah.
Just like this. Yeah.
Another fun one is you could do something similar to what Sky and I did with the
smut roast.
The smut roast.
That was so
That
good.
was
It was so fun.
It was fantastic. I want to bring it back to other cons.
You're not bringing it to Kumo this year?
Yeah. Or you
No, we're doing a game show instead.
fan fiction game show.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
We have 3D printed little prizes.
That's cool.
So, it's going to be... Yeah.
We have barely talked about the actual topic of this.
Gender.
Gender.
Yeah, gender.
So, how do I tell if I'm experiencing gender dysphoria or just regular dysmorphia?
Well, you have probably, since you don't. Oh, wow, words.
You're so good at podcasting.
I'm so good at this. Since you don't usually experience gender dysphoria and more of the dysmorphia side of things, why don't you give us your little. What does that feel like?
So for me, I know that it's not gender dysphoria and it's dysmorphia because I know it's the problems I have with how I look in certain cosplays comes from specifically as to how I look as a person and not because it's my gender. So it's not because, like, oh, I have boobs where boobs shouldn't be. It's like, it's more, oh, I'm a fucking cylinder. Where's my waist? Or stuff like that. Like, just standard physical insecurity stuff more than, oh, I am in the wrong body. Get me the fuck out of here.
I get that a lot with my knees because I
get that with my knees are weird.
Yeah, I walk funny, I realize, and so when I stand still for photos and stuff, my legs look really funky unless I remember to not basically crack my knees out because I end up looking like a little bow-legged and it looks real dumb.
And I have knocked knees, so I'm bow-legged in the opposite direction. Yeah. So my knees tend to bend inwards towards each other.
So you constantly look like you're doing the anime shy?
I always look like I'm doing the anime shy. Which I'm really excited to start doing.
For me, it's my chin. Like, I've talked about this before with you guys. Like, I have a very round face.
That's one for me, too. And
so, like, I don't really have like, a chin, a defining chin. And so, like, I get, like, double chin, and I freaking hate it so much. So, like, whenever I do photo shoots, I always tell my photographers, I'm like, if you see this, tell me to raise my head.
Yeah.
Please.
No, I feel that because that's why I almost always am like, can we do a 3/4 shot instead of front on? Because front on, my face kind of looks a little too flat because my face is tiny and the rest of my forehead and the rest of my face is quite. It makes the rest of, like, my face is squished into the center. And so I'm like, can we do a 3/4 shot where you can see my cheekbones or, like, I can show off my kind of their jawline?
I always love a good chin up, eyeballs down shot.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite because I also have a lot of insecurity about, like, my neck and my chin. Because I also have a very round
I've
chin.
trained myself now when I do photos that I kind of, like, lift my head up higher than, like, I used to because I do know that there, but, like, sometimes I forget, especially if I'm supposed to do, like, some weird ass JoJo pose or something.
Yeah. My go-tos is always roll my shoulder back, put my chin up, and like, kind of angle your hips more forward instead of arching your back too much because then it kind of negates your waist. Do I remember to do that all the time?
Never.
No. I do get back shrimp photos where I'm just hunched over like a shrimp, and I'm like, what is this? Why didn't you tell me I look like a shrimp? Tell me to roll my shoulders back, put my chest out. I don't like this. The photo looks great. I look ridiculous.
Photographers that pose you.
Oh, I love photographers that pose me.
Yeah.
I'd sell my left kidney for a photographer that'll pose me.
Literally, because, like, I don't know what I look like. I could be, and every time they don't pose me or they'll take a photo of my legs or something, I'm always doing something really ridiculous. Or I'll remember to pose my body and there's no expression on my face. I look like I've checked out the building, lights are on, no one's home, and I'm like, please tell me when I look like I've taken every single drug on the planet. Please! I can pose my face, just tell me.
It's also nice to have, like, a friend come to a photo shoot with you because, like, they can help you. They can help pose you, which is what I tend to do.
Or pose the clothing, or pose your wig, or things like that.
Especially because there's a big difference between posing for feminine characters and posing for masculine characters.
Yeah.
And those aren't always inherently known things.
Yeah, especially if you're not used to, like, cosplaying a guy or, like, having to act like a guy or act like a girl if you like, the other way. Because, like, I have friends that, born with the he, him, and do not use the he, him anymore. And I've had friends be like, how how pose girl. How be girl. I'm girl inside, but how be girl. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, so yeah, like with girl poses, you're a little more demure, you know. You're a little more graceful, a little more poised, whereas with guy, it's more boxy. It's more power posing. It's more. Do you want to see my crotch?
It's almost more standoffish.
It depends
For
on
not
the
all characters.
Not all
characters.
characters,
Like, when I'm doing power, for example, I'm not doing dainty poses as power. I'm being a feral animal.
No.
When I'm power. But if I'm doing like Joker, even Joker, I find he's a bit more of like a femboy. So I don't do like crazy masculine.
He's a pretty little baby girl.
So look, I don't do crazy mask poses for him either. I don't really do mask poses for anyone. They're all little femmes.
Yeah, because even for Link, sometimes, depending on the situation, I bring out the baby girl a little bit more.
It also depends if I'm cosplaying and doing photos with someone. Because, like, if I'm doing, like, a ship, for example, then, like, if I'm the guy in the ship, then I'm gonna, you know, be the one pinning you to the tree. Unless I'm Sakura when you were Sasuke, in which case I was doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta be the one pinned to the tree.
I love looking at masculine drawing bases on Pinterest for those references.
I go to Pinterest. I would go to Pinterest boards for whatever character I'm doing for inspo.
I also like to sometimes make generic pose references, like boards on Pinterest, because I find those really helpful. Because like I also do photography, so sometimes I like to like help pose people and tell them what to do, and it's nice to kind of like study the poses, so you can kind of go, okay, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you tilt your chin this way? Can you like move your shoulders this way? Put your feet here, you know. Pop the hip or whatever.
Yeah, because I have a set of poses in my brain that I know I can do that look good every time. It's just the problem is they don't always work for all the characters, because a lot of them are more masculine, power posy type for like more aloof characters that won't necessarily work for fucking Rapunzel or whatever.
For me,
and vice versa.
I have the easier time posing a character if I know the character really well. So, like, Jinx, for example, like, I can pose Jinx so easily whenever I do photos.
She also has a lot of, like, iconic poses.
Honestly, I slightly
like,
also do some JoJo poses
too.
as her when I cosplay her. Yeah, no,
but they work for her.
Stretch
They're
before I do a shoot as Jinx, which I gotta stretch. But like
That's
I did like
so fair.
Legacy on like a couple weekends ago for a photo shoot, and I was like, how do I pose a Pokemon? I was like, how do I do this?
Cool out here asking the real questions. How does one pose a Pokemon?
Look, man,
Leave your comments.
Pokemon contest. I am a trainer only.
Send cool all your Pokemon references.
I mean, I am going to shirt today too.
That is true. That is true. Aw, man, I'm the only one not wearing an anime-themed shirt. Mine's NASA.
I got that You're Not Ice Cream.
Yeah.
The shirt I got when their merch was still in Hot Topic. Before it was
It hurts my soul.
I will cry about the movie for years to come.
Yeah, Yuri is another one that I give him a lot more female
They're figure
posing because he's like a figure skater. You give him the pretty little dainty poses.
Mm-hmm. Same with when I cosplay.
It would be fun to go actually to an ice rink and do like a Yuri on Ice photo shoot. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially because there's that one that's down on.
The like
Robson.
open one.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, although it's very busy.
Yeah.
You can probably rent one out for not too much money.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah. There's actually I think there's one in Langley that
There's one in
There's
Chilliwack
skate
too.
rinks everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
The benefits of Canada.
Yeah. We've also touched base a little bit on gender bending earlier this episode. Anyone care to explain what gender bending is versus cross-playing and the differences there?
Gender bending is where you take the gender of the given character and you bend it to a different gender. So, like
doing a Bakugo.
Let's say Loki.
Loki can be
like if you're gonna do Femme
multiple
Bakugo.
versions of him. There is a female version of him. There is a male version of him. So Loki, you can't.
Yes.
I guess you could still obviously gender bend him, but like he has so many different versions of him that like you could just do anyone.
Or like. Yeah, because like when I first started cosplaying, I did Loki, but I did like a femme version of it. So instead of giving him pants, I gave him a dress, gave him like longer hair, different things to kind of make it look a little more feminine before I got more comfortable cosplaying guys. You can also do the opposite, and like if your gender matches the character's gender, but you don't want to do the character in that gender, you can bend it again. You could be a girl cosplaying a girl character and do the guy version instead if you wanted. Like, it's one of those fun little things. It can also be...
No, go.
What, sorry?
Finish your thought.
I see a lot of male cosplayers do like gender bends from traditionally female characters and do like the male versions. Like I've seen a lot of male versions of Harley Quinn, which are really fun. I've seen some different versions of like female characters that men do, and they like gender bend it, or instead of like just cosplaying the character as the gender that it is. And it can also be kind of good for if you feel so dysphoric doing a different gender, or having to exist in that one gender. You can just change the character's gender. Like, it's just a character. It literally doesn't exist. It's not going to get mad that you're fucking with its gender.
Out of your TV, yelling.
Yeah. Well, that's what the dude bros are going to try to tell you, but they can go and sit and rotate.
And like honestly, like.
It also
I did like a gender bend just recently. Actually, I did Kiba from Naruto because like my reason why I did gender bend for him wasn't because like I was having issues with like my gender myself. It was just I fucking hated the wig, my male wig I had for him. I hated it.
So fair.
I just put a long ponytail wig on instead, and I was like, much better.
I have definitely done that. I did that with what's his name? Shinso from BNHA. I always did the female version of Shinso because I hated the way his hair looked on me. It looked so bad. And actually, my TikTok today decided to remind me of what my male Shinso looked like, and I was like, thank you for that horrific reminder. I had actually forgotten I did that. But thank you for that reminder. I will be deleting this out of the internet.
Some characters you really do need a lace to make it good.
I've done it a couple times just because I've done some gender bends because like I'll have like an outfit that works perfectly for the character, and like the only wig I have is like a long wig or a bob when they have a short manly haircut, and I'm like, he's a girl now.
Exactly.
I don't want to buy another wig. He's a girl now.
Sometimes it's just easier to go like, that's a girl now. Sorry.
Well, that's like my Steed cosplay from Our Flag Means Death. It's just a girl because I have a nice blonde bob wig. I was going to be Ron Stoppable for Halloween last year. Same deal.
I did that in the opposite direction for Gwen Stacy one time because I was going through some like intense gender dysphoria, and I was like, I really want to cosplay Spider-Girl, but if I have to be a girl, I'm gonna cry. So I slapped a binder on, put the suit on as it is, and then just wore a short wig, and I was like, what are you gonna do now? This is a boy now.
Yeah, she's from the multiverse.
Yeah, no, that's literally, I was like, this is a variant of, this is
A variant of Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen. This is like Guy Stacy. I don't know. I don't remember what name I ended up using, but I was like, it's
Guys.
Guy Stacy.
Steve Stacy.
Steve Stacy.
No! Yeah, and then, like, there's also been other, like, guy characters that I've just been like, you're gonna be a lot cuter with girl makeup. So you're gonna be a girl now.
Say you're at con, and I know, you had a similar experience like this, Cole, where you have a really bad bout of gender dysphoria that you weren't experiencing, and maybe you don't have a backup or anything like that. What are some things you can do to help solve that kind of problem?
I have had that, and I just got out of cosplay.
Would probably help a lot. Also, like, what I found helped me on that day myself was, again, like, I put on a comfort cosplay that I had. So if you have a comfort character that like you always think you look good and you always feel good in them, no matter what, like, I would suggest going into them. Like, I highly, highly recommend to anybody who goes to cons, especially if it's like an out of city or out of state like con, bring multiple backups. Bring like your comfort cosplay. Bring a male cosplay. If you have like a lot of female cosplays, bring at least one male cosplay that you can change into. Just like prepare for anything, essentially.
Because like I recently at AR, I had a bout of like kind of dysphoria, kind of dysmorphia in one of the cosplays that I was wearing, and so I made sure to bring Wei Wuxian because he is a costume that I can always wear. I love cosplaying him. I know I look good as him. I like the costume, and so I made sure to bring that because I was like, if I end up hating the way that I look, I need a character that I'm gonna like. And I was cosplaying as a guy character, so like it wasn't like I was cosplaying a girl and I needed to cosplay a guy. I was cosplaying a guy, but I just hated it, and so I needed to cosplay something else that I knew I would like. And so I 100% believe that you should always bring, even if you're day tripping down, you never know what's gonna happen, bring a backup or two. Even if it's just a wig and casual clothes.
Closet cosplay is a wonderful thing.
That's what I usually end up doing for evenings at cons, because I'm old and tired.
Or like the Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sundays, casual days.
Especially if you had like a party con.
Because I
had a party con, you don't want to be in like a Genshin cosplay canon outfit. You do not want to be in that with all those dangly bits when you're drinking. Like, slap that wig, keep that wig on, but change into some comfy clothes because it'll be too much.
Yeah, it was like at Kumo, I was planning and hoping to wear Hanji from Attack on Titan, and the pants that I brought. There's no way I'd be walking inside the hotel room with those pants.
White pants.
They were
kind of sheer.
Not very sheer. They might as well have been made out of glass. Frosted glass, I think, would have more coverage. Pants would. So I had to change into a costume that I brought on backup, knowing that might be a problem with those pants.
Yeah, I almost always bring some type of backup, because you never know if a cosplay is going to rip, if you're going to get a stain on it, if you're going to, get caught in the rain and it's suddenly drenched, if you're going to have some kind of accident and you need to change. It doesn't necessarily have to be like dysmorphia related or dysphoria related. Sometimes just bringing it back up is good. Yeah.
The amount of times I've almost ruined a cosplay because I got my period in it.
Also, I have ruined a cosplay.
Also, if you're flying somewhere, put one of your backups in your carry-on bag. Because, like, if your luggage gets lost or something, you at least have one cosplay you can wear for the weekend.
Or if the airline destroys your suitcase.
Thank you so much, Alaska Airlines, for breaking my suitcase. It's great. It's okay, the suitcase people...
The
people I dealt with was, the man I dealt with there was a lovely, lovely man. He was
He was so
sweetheart,
sweet.
and he literally works in a closet. It's like a closet.
Yeah, we couldn't find it at first because it was like this little closet behind the staircase. We were like, "Sir, are you good? Where? What? Do they let you out?"
Harry Potter of the airlines. He's under the staircase.
Yeah.
Like, I took a
Literally.
suitcase out of it, and it's a very nice suitcase. And the hotel was really good because they got rid of my old one, but it was an added stress
Yeah.
to traveling that I didn't want to deal with. Especially because as we were landing, my
And
contact.
unfortunately, if there's going to be a stress for traveling, it's going to happen to Cole.
The worst part was
Yeah.
while we were landing, my contact had popped out of my eye. And
Yeah.
I didn't have the case with me, and I didn't have a mirror or anything, and they were my only contacts for the weekend. It was great. So I just had my camera on my phone on, and I was just like trying to put my contact in as we're like fucking landing. It was great.
Well, I remember looking up, and you're like looking at your hand in horror, and I'm like, "What happened?" And you just turn back, and you're like, "It just popped out," and I'm like, "What?" And then like Sky next to me and the twins were like, "What happened?" And you're like, "My contact popped out. I don't know what's wrong." And so then the plane's landing, and you're bobbing around trying to put this in, and we're all looking on in horror because you're a few rows down from us, so we can't do anything except for just be like, "Ah!"
Yes, it was like not even like I could go to the bathroom because we were descending. And I was just
Yeah, like it was like, "No, walk down. You can't get up," and it's like, "No."
Yeah, the amount of times I'll look at your story when you're traveling somewhere and something else has gone wrong, and I'm just like, "Girl."
It's not usually this bad. Just the past couple trips have been bad for traveling.
Yeah.
That's the real reason why you're not going to Cuba with us.
They're like, "No more." It's like, "No, we're not
I'm saying it's going to be my very good reason.
At least there'd be other people in the car this time that could drive. I love you, Circuit,
This is
but
true.
it was
This is
so
true.
painful being the only one who was driving. It's true, you didn't give me food. I had like a little meltdown as soon as we entered Portland.
I felt so bad.
Oh. Yeah.
It's happens when you're the baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna make entropy drive in.
Honestly, she'd probably love that too.
Yeah.
She loves driving.
This is fair.
We've talked about everything but the topics we're here to talk about. It's been great.
We've talked about the topics.
They've been littered with a lot of
True.
tangents.
Yeah, but the tangents have been slightly
My
relevant.
travel stories are very relevant to this.
Sometimes. Completely.
Hey, I made sure we got through all of the things on your list.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I guess the photography
Yeah.
posing can be helpful in like a gender way if you're like, experiencing.
hey, there's a lot of gender
Experimenting with your-
affirmation that comes
Yeah.
with the photos you get back.
It is, yeah,
So-
that can be.
That's not to
Yeah.
be
Also with
discounted.
like body
Yeah.
dysphoria stuff,
Is there
like,
anything else?
I find like also if you get like shapewear and like other things like that, it actually like helps a lot. Like
yeah.
I wear shapewear with like with I'm wearing like
Oh, yeah.
tighter cosplays. I'll wear like the shapewear and it's nice.
Yeah.
It kind of just like flattens everything out a bit and like that helps a lot. So if
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the last time I wore Beto,
yeah.
too, had a bunch. It was
Yeah.
a lot of that. I had so much shapewear.
When I wear Raiden Shogun, I always wear a
Yeah.
corset underneath of it because it just makes the cosplay lay
Yeah.
so much better against my body. Like, there's a couple cosplays where sometimes I'll wear a corset underneath because it just helps everything lay correctly on top. Or, like, I have some shorts that are kind of like shapewear. They're pretty tight,
Yeah.
and so it kind of keeps the everything in place, as
My
it were.
favorite is
Yeah.
when I'm wearing a skirt
So-
because I'll wear like my shapewear, which is essentially like really tall underwear, essentially. But then like I also wear
Mhm.
my privacy shorts on them, and so it's just like so many
Yeah.
layers. built into this, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't not have privacy shorts.
Oh, yeah. So if you are cosplaying things that are short and you might flash someone, for all of you people listening, please wear privacy shorts.
It also just deters creeps.
It does, because you never know who's going to try to, like, take a picture of your skirt.
Mine are great because they're skin
Like-
tone colored, and so you'll think that
So they're going to be real
getting
disappointed.
something, but it's just shorts.
But it's a Barbie doll.
Yeah. They're going to look at those photos later and be like, damn it! Yeah. Well, I did that when I cosplayed one of the wives.
Yeah.
I was wearing like skin-colored dance tights. I was wearing skin-colored the shorts, and I think I also had something else. Obviously, I was wearing like underwear and things underneath of that. So there was no way anyone was seeing anything. But there was definitely a couple times where I think a couple people were like, "Ooh, what's going on underneath that tiny little skirt you got going on?" It was like several layers.
Well, it's like,
You weren't seeing shit.
it was like my first foray into open chest binding with Viktor Nikiforov, with the very deep plunge, which I had the shirt also taped down too, so there was no way anyone could see anything. And the SkyTrain back home was incredible. At the ripe old age of 16, the people just staring full on my chest from the convention center all the way to fucking Surrey Central. Because it was the same night as Pride, and it was the same night as the PC Lions game.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Rough.
It's okay.
The people on that train decided they really wanted to see if something was going to happen.
You're
Nothing
like,
did.
it's secure. I got it, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you want. But hey, that same train ride is where does the curtains match the drapes story comes from.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, it's like it was like the time I wore every time I've worn any Sailor Scout, I've always worn like skin-colored dance tights and like safety shorts and stuff. And there's always somebody like, because the skirts are very short, and there's always somebody like, oh, what am I gonna see? And I'm like, nothing, absolutely nothing, dog. You are seeing nothing.
My favorite.
And I just find it funny.
I wasn't in a revealing costume. I was Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle. And some weird
Oh yeah,
who didn't speak English was like trying to get me to go with him. And I'm like
Nice.
It was a wild experience. Circuit was there.
yeah, because I had to get in between you two, because he was inching closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, not today, bitch.
He first approached us, and then like I thought he was like trying to ask for directions because we're on the SkyTrain.
Yeah, it sounded like he was trying to ask for directions.
Like he doesn't speak English very well, so like obviously he's like either like a foreigner or like a tourist or whatever. And so I was like being nice, and I was just like asking, and then it just steamrolled. And
yeah, and I ended up having to cabin on you the entire ride.
Anyone who is from Vancouver, you know how crazy the SkyTrain is.
While also, Annetta and I were trying not to laugh our asses off at the same time.
They were.
You know, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know.
But he was like, come, and I was like, no. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
It doesn't even matter.
I choose life.
Like a revealing cosplay because like I was showing no skin.
Yeah, Lucy is you have hands and neck and like chin up. That's it.
I'm feeling feisty.
And it's not even like a tight costume or anything. It's
I'm
like
feeling essentially saucy and Sophie and my flashing my ankles.
oh my god.
How scandalous!
How scandalous you are myself. Say less, say less. Yeah.
But I think we've gotten to about that time. So do you guys have any last remarks you want to say on gender expression in costume at all? Or
if you're feeling any sort of way, give cosplaying a different gender a try, because you might discover things about yourself, or it might answer some questions you might have bouncing around in the back of your brain.
Just experiment if you're like having questions about your own gender and what you prefer to go by. Like, just experiment with it. Try a more femme look. Try a more masc look. See what you like. And just experiment with it.
Cosplay is a very safe place to experiment, and it's a societally acceptable way to experiment with your gender. Because if anyone asks, you're like, oh no, this is just some guy character I'm cosplaying. Don't worry about it. It's a safer way, like if your parents are a little more strict, if you're in an environment where you can't really experiment in a day-to-day way, because it's a lot more difficult to walk around the street. You know, you might get some unsavory advances or things like that. But at a convention or in the comfort of your own home, where you can, experiment being a girly with a little skirt, or you can experiment being with a guy, being a guy. Oh my god!
I mean, you could also experiment being with a guy. What?
You can, but I don't want to know.
Yeah, what kind of con parties are you going
to?
Apparently, wild ones. God damn. I mean, actually, there was one time at Katsu where I got very drunk the first year I went, and my friend she was like, all right, I'm getting a breast reduction. Everybody gets to cop a feel. This is your last chance.
I mean, hey, if you're getting rid of them, I'd be like, I just...
Yeah, I was like, you know what, fair is fair, and I was like, you know, for a fair exchange, because I was wearing a tiny little skirt, I was like, you can cop a feel of my ass, it's very nice.
Why don't shit happens at cons, guys?
I was inebriated incredibly.
Happens at cons sometimes, guys.
Oh yeah, so that's how we're leaving you with this podcast episode.
Just my friend cup feel on my ass. And
it'd be like that sometimes. It do in fact be like that sometimes.
Oh no, my favorite thing was when you were just we were in like a hotel room together, and like I was changing, and you were just like, nice bra, and I was just like, thank you.
Things that happen in a con hotel. You never
happens at a con hotel stays at a con hotel.
True. Well, I remember turning around and going, oh, that's a cute bra. Like, there was no other ulterior motive or whatever. I was like, oh, cute. And then I, turned around and continued on with my day. And then I stopped and was like, wait a minute.
It was a cute bra, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Anyways. This has been episode 7 of the Dress Up Disasters podcast. Lucky number 7.
Yeah.
Guest episode with Cole here. Cole, do you want to have another shout out for your social media so people know where to find you?
So again, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Coles_cosplay.
How do you spell Coles?
Coles. So like the stove.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like what's the stocking at
Fantastic.
Christmas.
So, if you liked today's episode, feel free to follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Leave us a review so it's easier for the algorithms of these podcast networks to show us off to other people who may like the podcast, as well as share with a friend so they also know about this podcast.
Because we're so fun to hang out with.
Oh, yeah. If you have a suggestion on an episode idea or maybe a guest you want to see on the podcast, give us an email at dressupdisasters@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at Circas Productions. That is CIRCAS Productions. And have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much for listening.
We'll smell y'all in 2 weeks.
Bye.